Hey, welcome guys. Once again, I am your host, Nostalgia Allure, and welcome to Book Shade, where we talk about interracial romance landia, okay? So, guys, let me tell you, today's episode is probably going to be the most extra episode I have ever done on this program so far. Good God. All right, so today, guys, I am going to be doing what is called the male booktuber tag. No, no, I'm just messing with you guys. But we're going to be doing the male booktuber tag from me being a fat woman, a plus size woman perspective. Okay, so let's get started. So question one is, do you think there is a lack of male booktubers? If so, why? Hell yeah, there's a shortage, okay? Hey, don't get me wrong. I love my ladies. I truly do. Okay, I appreciate us lady, okay, booktubers. But I like to see some men's up in here, okay? I need to see more, okay? I need to see more men, because here's the thing, guys, about diversity, okay? A lot of times when people focus on diversity, it's only on the surface level, which is cultural, okay? But beyond cultural, you have all different types of perspectives that I think male booktubers in this case would really add some flavor to the already very female perspective that you see throughout the booktube community. Diversity to me, I would like to see more, let's say, gothic booktubers or metalhead booktubers, or like stuff like that. Just stuff that's really cool and edgy, and so it can like kind of help to reduce the monotone that sometimes happens in this community. This is just from my perspective, okay? I think it's good that men are starting to get interested in booktube, because I like to hear the guy's opinion. Don't get me wrong, I like hearing from the ladies, okay? But hey, nothing gets me hot and bothered, guys, than a well-educated man who brings that intellectual realness, and he reads for days, darling. Oh my gosh. Woo! Let me tell you. But oh hey, we got people. Hey, what's up? And people says, what's booktube? What is this booktube you speak of? No. Okay, so booktube is pretty much this homogenized term that describes people who are interested in books. So it's pretty much YouTube, but for people who like reading and just literature in general. It's a very interesting community. I just started recently, so I'm that new bitch. But I love booktube. I've been having a blast, and there's so many different perspectives. I love the debates that happen here on booktube, and I'm just glad to be a part of it, man. So people, that's what booktube is, okay? But let's get back to it. So I do think there is a lack of male booktubers. Are there some? Yes, but I think there needs to be more. Because here's that, like I said before, the whole thing with diversity, it goes beyond cultural, okay? So yeah, it's nice we're talking about, different cultures and the contributions of these cultures to literature. Oh, that's all fine. But I think it's good to get the male perspective, for example, on romance books. You know how refreshing that is to me when I see a guy talking about a romance book and giving his perspective? Because a lot of times, let's just keep it real, okay? Most of the time, romance books are written by women. Are there some that are written by men? Of course. But like, there's just been more of the female perspective has been weighted heavier than the male perspective. Because a lot of times, I gotta keep it real though, in some subgenres of romance, guys be portrayed like assholes, like all the time. Like all the time. Like there are exceptions to the rules. It's either he's the knight in shining armor, or he's super alpha, and there's not like a realistic mixture. Because that's one of the various complaints that I hear about the romance book genre from time to time. trust me and believe, I love it. I enjoy reading, you know, a really confident, cocky, alpha, you know, male romance story. I'll be laughing all day, okay? But I think people want a more realistic tune to romance, something that's more, because reading to me, guys, and I think literature in general, we all read things that are tangible to us, things that we can relate to the experiences, or things that kind of expand our perspective. So I think when it comes to reading, though, it's so important to, you know, to try out literature that will challenge you, but also get literature that like is tangible. You know, like most of the time when I read romance books now, it's like all the guys are assholes. So, you know, if I'm just reading this, I'm like, well, love really sucks, you know? But then I'll read a romance novel where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much more realistic. It's not stereotypical, you know, because here's the thing, guys. Love, yeah, is love happily ever after? Yeah, but sometimes you gotta really work for that happily ever after sometimes. Let me tell you, bitch. And people says, what have you been reading? Oh my gosh. I have been reading so much. I got like 6 books. I'm doing the Women's History Month readathon that goes from the 1st to the 31st of March. So for the whole month, I'm going to be doing the reviews as I'm finished reading. So right now I'm reading this book, right? My first book is Lindsay Sands. It's called A Quick Bite. It's part of this vampire, it's like a paranormal series, like, well, I would say paranormal romance series, but it's specifically the subgenre of vampire romance. And it's part of her series. It's called the Arja Now series. And I'm reading the first book in like a series of like fucking over 20 books. It's called A Quick Bite. I've been liking it so far, but there's some parts where it is drier than menopause. But a lot of people from the reviews that I've read, they say that you have to kind of get over the first book. And then once you get over that hurdle, then it starts to get really juicy, okay? Or as everybody likes to say, of course, the tea. So that's what I'm reading right now. I also have a interracial Civil War romance that is called Civil Warriors by Tracy Ball. And I have this other one by Casey Luck, which is called the Lesbian Billionaires Club. So that's my LGBTQIA plus selection. And what's the other thing I'm reading too? Oh yeah, I just added 2 more. I have one book that's more takes place around the history of the very fabulous, legendary fashion designer Coco Chanel, darling. So that's going to be really interesting to read. So yeah, that's what I've been reading, people. Okay, so I would say too, if so, why, to kind of answer the second part. I think, and this is just me, I think there's a lack of male booktubers because there's a stigma. Now, let me clarify what I mean. There is a stigma for some stereotypical reason of like, it's not masculine to like read books or something like that, which is crazy to me. Like, I think that's absolutely absurd to connect, try to connect masculinity to reading. Like, I mean, to me, this is my thing, okay? If you're an adult and you want to start reading, have a blast with it. Look, for me specifically, I read a lot of what I like to call the interracial romance-landia, because a lot of us out there love interracial unions in our romance, okay? That's not stereotypical. That's not so extra. Those of you who read romance, you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? But yeah, I think that's the reason why there's a stigma. Like, if a guy, like, let's say specifically, if a guy reads a romance novel, oh yeah, like, other guys are totally going to, they're totally going to make fun of him, depending on what he's reading. Now, guys do get a pass in literature, though, from my perspective, if they read things like science fiction, if they read things like fantasy or history. Because let's just keep it real. There are feminine book genres, and I'm talking from a stereotypical standpoint. There are feminine, very like genres that are considered more feminine, like the romance genre. And then you have genres that are more masculine, like the classics, even though many women and various people have written classic works, but the classics are still kind of considered masculine, like history, those type of things. Anything that's revolving around like suspense or thrillers. So there's still a gender, kind of a traditional gender association that comes with literature. It doesn't always get talked about, but I'm just one of those people that I like to say it like how it is, okay? I just keep it real according to my viewpoint, okay? Now, I'm not a man myself, so I'm only speaking from the perspective as a woman that has done research on men and pop culture and stuff like that. But that's what I noticed, like if a guy is caught with a romance novel, ooh bitch, it's a problem. But I'm really glad now that there are many men who are speaking out, who want romance books that are designed for men in mind. But also there are a lot of men who just want to have a better gender equality in regards to literature portrayal. Because to be fair, a lot of times, women, we complain about how we're seen in romance novels. So I think it's only fair to say that it's the same thing with men. Because like a lot of the books I've read so far, it's like the guy is a complete douchebag, or he's, or on the other side of the spectrum, he is really nice, but then he slowly turns into a douchebag. So from the heterosexual perspective, when you're reading these books, like romance, it sometimes it sucks. It's not realistic. So I think the reason why more men should be incorporated into BookTube, and just in general, specifically the romance book community, because I think it will create that balance. And I would also like to see more LGBTQIA+, which is happening too. But then there are, for me, I can't speak on like certain specific things that are LGBTQIA because I don't represent that community. I'm heterosexual and I'm an ally to the community. But one thing that I do notice from reading some of these LGBTQIA+ books, it depends on who writes it. If it's someone like the book that I'm going to be reading, the Lesbian Billionaires Club by Casey Luck, she is actually lesbian. So there's more of a cultural continuity that comes with it. Because to me, there is a difference between when someone writes a book and they're actually representing that cultural lens versus someone that doesn't come from that culture or sexual orientation, but they've done the research. And sometimes there's a different feeling depending on the subject matter that the book is about. So that's another thing, that's another reason why I want to see more men, is to have those type of dialogues and conversations about, what are some better like portrayals of men in romance novels. And I think having men be a part of that would, I think, also really enhance the experience, LGBT, and just having all different experiences in the romance genre, I think will even the playing field and all of that. And Polar says you read 1984. I have not read that. Excuse me. So many people have told me to read that. I gotta read it. But that's just how I feel. I think that's a couple of the reasons why. I just want to hear more perspectives than, of course, the female perspective. And that's starting to happen. We're getting the African American perspective, African perspective, Asian. We're starting to get all these different perspectives. But there's still a lot of stereotyping that can affect BookTube. And I think that's what kind of causes maybe some men to hesitate, because they're like, oh, this is just a community dominated by women, which is not true. But I just think that, hey, to the guys out there, if you love reading, don't be ashamed of it. If you like romance novels, don't be ashamed of it. Read what you enjoy and become a part of this community so that there's better dimensions of different voices being presented. That's just me, okay? So question 2 is, would you like to see more male booktubers and why? I did answer that. Okay, question 3. How do you think we as a community can attract more males to booktube? I think there needs to be a shift in the perception of men in literature, because a lot of times, especially, I'm only talking specifically for romance, it may be different across any other subgenres or main genres, because I know, you know, genres like science fiction stuff has been very progressive in regards to diversity. Now, some cultural groups are represented better than others, just to keep it real. You have read 1984. That's awesome, but I have not. But I digress. So, but I would just like to see a little more of an equilibrium. And I think as a community, how that can be incorporated is the best. Like, this is what I kind of find is, the best way to show representation is to research it and become part of that that representation. So for example, if I feel that there's a lack of men in romance novels, then I should do research to kind of seek out, you know, maybe there are guys that read romance, and find out about them and, you know, talk about them and things like that. And then also there has to be a welcoming to it too. So I mean, we can talk about the issue all day, and that's all fine and good. But I would say that to attract more men, you have to show interest in that subject matter. So for me, the way that I've been kind of, you know, learning about this, like for example, in case you guys don't know, I'm really into adult coloring. And one thing that I have done, because I was like, yeah, there's not a lot of books on, you know, that represent like men. And then I come to find out that that's not true at all. I found that they have this genre that are called like the manly man, adult coloring books and things like that for men who may not necessarily like the fairies and the mermaids and that kind of thing. And nothing wrong with that, but there are some men who are not into that. So I think that in order to solve a problem, you have to be part of the solution. So for me, if I want to learn more about men, you know, on BookTube and that kind of thing, I have to seek out the men that are already in the community and then kind of hear and listen to their perspectives, and then come up with maybe some solutions that can help more, you know, to have that better integration. And I think the other part of it is men have to help men too, because sometimes the perspectives that we have as women, it may not resonate with some men. So I think that when more men are visible, then I think it's this kind of encouragement. It's just like, for example, when women are trying to get into, let's say, certain types of literature that men have dominated, right? When more women become part of that solution by incorporating themselves into those particular genres and subgenres, then you start to see a change. So like, for example, oh hey, we got Rob. Hey, welcome to the program. So for example, one of the biggest talks here on BookTube is the lack of African American representation in science fiction, like the particular science fiction genre, which it depends what type of science fiction you're looking at. There is a lack, but what started to happen is now we have more people of color, or specifically African Americans in this example, that are writing sci-fi. It's just that and the reason why I laugh is just because people don't associate black people with science fiction. Even though we have characters like, let's see, Geordie LaForge from, you know, Star Trek, and I mean, there have been many, you know, but because there's this kind of disassociation with like people of color being interested in that, I think that's part of the problem too. So I think that the men that are in the community, which has already happened, you know, you guys have to talk about it more. And then you have to make yourselves more visible. And I think the more visible that you are, that's gonna help other guys be like, hey, wait a minute. Oh, there's nothing wrong with reading books. Like, man, this is fucking awesome, you know? So sometimes you have to have people who identify with you in order for you, for some people. Like for me, I don't care. But some people, they need to have somebody that they can connect to and resonate with in order for them to feel that they're a part of something. So I think that's what would, to answer that question, I think that's what would attract more men, is the men that are currently in this community continuing to be visible and continuing to have these conversations without feeling that they're going to get backlash or they're going to get canceled. Because that's the other part of it. It's like people want, people want diversity and change in BookTube, but then when you bring up the conversation, then it's a problem, and that's not helping. So we have to have these conversations of of cultural understanding and transparency in regards to literature in order for those perspectives over time to be more validated. And to me, I think that's the solution, but that's one of the solutions. But only guys will know what resonates with them, and are there guys who like the stuff that us ladies, be presenting on our BookTube channels? Of course. But sometimes you do need to connect with your own demographic in order for that growth and development to happen. All right, so we have what's up? And Na says, can answer my question. Okay, what is the question? So the question, I have no idea. I have none. So I can't really answer your question, my friend. Okay, so question 4. Do you think more males on BookTube will enhance the BookTube experience? I've already answered that. So I would have to say, yeah, I think it will. And I have to say though, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, here's the real tea. Okay, there are so many good-looking men here on BookTube. Do I have a chance with them? Probably not. But damn, woo-hoo-hoo, they got the brains and the looks. Like, good God, yes. Okay. And Na says thanks. But yeah, there are really good-looking men in the BookTube community. Like, I was like, ooh, and you guys know I like me an older man romance. So yes, okay. So there are a lot of fine older men in this community, and yes, I will be mentioning names. Yes. So get your teeth set. Okay. Good God. But no, I have not, nah. And so, oh my gosh. Oh, and we have Suom. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the program. Oh my gosh, I almost fell. Good God. But yeah. So yeah, look at me, guys. I'm ugly as hell. So my chances with most of these men that I'm gonna be spilling the tea on right now, good God, they are wonderful and really smart and all that. Okay. So yeah, I do think men will enhance the experience. Now, all jokes aside, besides the looks, a lot of men have so many interesting perspectives though. Oh my gosh, like so many interesting perspectives on the romance genre, science fiction. So I've been enjoying that. So like, not only do I watch videos of people who look like me, but I also enjoy hearing from the guys, hearing from LGBTQIA. I love hearing different voices that are different than my own. So, I think that's I think that's very important. Okay, so I can't do 5 because I'm still new, so I think that wouldn't be fair. Okay, so now here's the tea spilling. Yeah. Okay, so last question is, Name a few of your favorite male booktubers. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I know, oh, you guys are gonna be like telling them all, and I'm gonna be so much blushing, and I'm gonna be embarrassed. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, so let's do some tea spilling. Okay. So these are some of my favorite male booktubers. Okay. A lot of them are delicious. Yes, go on. Okay. So I almost threw my fan up in the air. I'm that excited. Woo. Okay. As Ric Flair would say, woo. But okay, the first male booktuber that I love, okay, he is smart, he is husky. I have a thing for like guys that wear glasses, so he is just delicious to me, and that is Strip Cover Lit. Oh my gosh, I'm even blushing. Oh man, do I have a chance with any of these men? But it is what it is. So yeah, Strip Cover Lit, I love him. He has a really funny sense of humor, but he's really smart. He loves like geek hobbies and things like that, and I just enjoy him. So yeah, Strip Cover Lit, yes God. All right, next, I love him. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, so me and him would definitely be Judy's like that, and that is Peter Likes Books. Okay, Peter, I know that you are gay, but damn, I really wish you were not, because you is fine, okay? Nothing wrong with being gay, okay? But you know what I mean. He is super fine, okay? He is that like white chocolate daddy realness, and I am just feeling all of his fantasy like that. Oh my God. But yeah, besides all of that mess, no, he's super smart. He's really witty, and he'll let a bitch know. So Peter, I fucking love you. He has a main channel, but he also has a channel that's called Peter Likes Books. So that's more of the BookTube kind of sector. But yeah, I live for him. He's hilarious, okay? And he'll let a bitch know. So I appreciate you, Peter. Okay, next we have Beard and Books. I love Beard and Books, guys. I'm like blushing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so no, he's wonderful. Like he's that manly man, and he'll just let you know how he feels about all different types of books, and a great example of a male booktuber for sure. All these guys are legendary in this community and wonderful, and they're so eloquent speaking, you know, and they have really great composure. But yeah, I love Beard and Books. He's popping. Like yes, God. I enjoy him, like his content. No, I'm being extra. So hey, Beard, what's up? See, I'm blushing on the inside because you see I'm black as hell, so you can't really see my blush unless I put on blush. Okay. So then next we have Jason Purcell. Oh my God, guys, Jason Purcell is everything. Okay, that hair. He is bringing that like James Dean, like a realness, a bitch what. No, I love him. Like he's super smart. He just speaks how he feels, and that is so romantic though. So yes, I live for you, Jason. So yeah, definitely check all these guys out. You will not be disappointed. It's not about their looks, okay? It's also about what they talk about and the component that they bring to talking about literature, which I greatly appreciate, okay? All right, so next we have Books and Looks. Yes, he's got the looks. You see, I don't see, before, guys, I was not feeling beards like that. But then when I started watching some of these male booktubers with the beard realness, I was like, yes, boy, okay? Like, they be popping with them beards looking all smexy and shit. Like, good God. But yeah, no, Books and Looks is great. I enjoy his channel as well. And, you know, all the cool, like, the last video I watched, he has like interesting like hats on and stuff like that. But oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. All right. Next we have the mess. It's Wolfshot Publishing. Tasty. Okay. So I can't believe I am spilling all this tea. Now you guys are gonna go back and be like, oh, nostalgia says that you are like sexy, and then it's gonna be embarrassing, and then you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna be like this. The mess, okay? Oh, I'm sweating. Or as they would say in the romance community, right? A book community, it's a page turner, okay? So next, yeah, Wolfshot Publishing. I love him. He is great. He has a really good sense of humor. And go check out, guys, his male booktuber tag too. Hilarious, okay? Like, he made this joke about being a mailman and stuff. I was like, if you were my mailman, oh, it puts a whole new meaning to priority, darling. I'm just saying. But all my messiness and extraness aside, but yeah, I love him too. Really smart, and just, I know I keep saying it because all these guys are smart as hell, okay? So to all the heterosexual ladies out there, okay, this is what you're looking for, okay? You want a man with a brain, okay? I'm just saying. All right, next we have Wilds Reads. I love him, okay, because you know me, I love my older white chocolate. So I appreciate you, Wild. Wild be making me laugh too, and yeah, I just love his composure when he talks about things, and his male booktuber tag too. He really did a good job talking about like that importance of male representation, but it wasn't done in like a douchebag kind of way. Because here's the problem with this tag though, stereotypically, okay? If you're looking at it from a stereotypical standpoint, it's kind of like, oh, you know, it's only focusing or caring just about male booktubers. But to me, this tag is more than that. It's about kind of having this dialogue of like, how can we have better male representation on BookTube that correlates with all the other different perspectives in this community. And I think the male perspective is important too. But yeah, I love me some Wild Reads. And you know, I have a thing for glasses. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, ooh, I'm a messy queen. A messy queen. All right. So next we have Steve. I love Steve. Steve Donahue. Hilarious. I always love he has his dog in the background and the dog be looking at him like, okay. But no, his male booktuber tag keeps it real too. See, this is why I like older men, because older men, they let you know, okay? So much appreciated, Steve. Love your program as well. Next we have J.D. Archer. Okay, oh my gosh, I just found out about him recently. So he really, like, when he talks, it like reminds me of like a Star Trek episode. Like, he's very Spock, you know? And I love it. Like, he's just really well spoken. And yeah, I love his program. So love you, JD. Yes, go on. All right. So next we have Book Invasion. Yeah, I live for him too. He got them like, you know, Terminator 2 Judgment Day glasses on, like one of the videos I was watching. I was like, okay, get your Terminator live, okay? Yes. No, I'm being a mess, but no. He does good book reviews too, or just talking about literature in general. I appreciate. All right, now, okay. I blush just thinking about him. Oh my gosh, I love him. Okay, so his name is, or his channel name is What Camille Reads. Guys, I swear to you, if this dude was single, I would. Oh my gosh, the mess of it all. Oh hey, we got MFC. What's up? What's up? And oh, like, yeah, that's true. And MFC says they ain't a man unless they do that for you, girl. Oh, he does this for me. Oh, girl. So okay, What Camille Reads, guys, I just found out about him yesterday. And as I was watching, okay, now looks aside, okay, I'm just keeping it real. I am so attracted to his personality. His personality is everything. Oh my god. His personality is everything, guys. Like, he just, and I love the way he talks too. Am I being creepy? Am I being stalkerish right now? Yeah, probably. But no, I'm being extra. But oh my gosh, what Cameo reads, guys, his like just his mannerisms, I'm attracted to. His voice, I'm attracted to. His personality, so attracted to. And hey, look, Camille, if you're taken, I don't blame whoever is with you. Get your life, yes, bitch. Okay, but he is so fine. But besides all that, I love his mannerisms of how he talks about literature, and I love his male booktuber tag too. You know, and he just kept it real. That's what I like about him. He keeps it real. But I won't lie, he is very nice to look at. Okay, so ladies, if you are like me, okay, and you are into the older men, you definitely need to check out what Cameo reads. Okay. All right, and it's not only because he's nice to look at. Okay, I'm not gonna be that much of a messy queen that I'm already am. But yeah, he is fine, and he's got the most beautiful eyes, guys. Like, I be watching his videos, and I be like this. I'm like, it like puts me into hypnosis. Like, that's when you know a man is so fine. Okay, so here's some of my slang terminology here on Bookshade. So, and for me personally, when a man is so fine, you know what I call him? Merchandise. Okay, so what Cameo reads, you are the ultimate merchandise because you are priceless, darling. And I appreciate you not only looking at you, but I appreciate your show too. It's really well done, so much appreciated. Good God, very, very fine. Woo, he is fine. Like I mean, I was just like, I appreciate BookTube even more with this fine ass man. Good God. All right. Next we got for you ladies out there who like the bald guys, okay, we have Bald Book Geek. Guys, Bald Book Geek is probably one of the most eloquent speakers here on, there's a handful of them, but of male booktubers, I really appreciate his opinion on things. Like how I found out about him was I was watching a video of his where he was kind of talking about why he had a preference a little bit more for ebooks, and really good conversation on that. You know, it's not like, I agree with him where it's like, it's not like we're trying to like cancel having physical copies of things, but sometimes you don't always have, like for some people, you may not have the privilege to be able to have all that type of space to have a really big book collection. And some people are also minimalist too, like Read with Cindy, for example. So it's like, you have to kind of condense your book collection to something that is tangible, that works for you. If you have the space to have the eleganza, hey, nothing wrong with that, more power to you. But for me, unfortunately, the way that my room is designed, I cannot have like 40 million bookshelves and all that. So that's why I love ebooks, because all I have to do is just bust out my Kindle, and I have my I have a library, my library collection right there of books at my disposal, and it's so instant, and I can, I can read through it. But I'll have to do a separate episode. But yeah, go check out Bald Book Geek. You will not be disappointed. So I really appreciate him. He seems like he's a sweet guy too, and I love that. I love male booktubers that make your heart melt like that. I'm just like, yes, bitch, yes. Woo. Okay, so I think those are all of my recommendations here. But oh my gosh, guys, let me tell ya, please support just like how we support the ladies, please support our male booktubers, because they do some really good work, and support everybody on BookTube. Okay, like, phenomenal talent that I see out here. I be getting salty too. I'm like, bitch, I wish I had that kind of talent. Good God. All right, guys. Well, I'll get out of here. You can keep in touch with me, of course, the following ways. I'm on Instagram as well as the Twitter at Bookshade1. All right. So, guys, like I always say, remember to enjoy the darkness of reading. I'll see you guys on Friday. on Friday. All right, get your life.